You're on safari. The guide has told you very clearly twice to stay in the vehicle, and 10 meters away sits a lion, a quarter of a ton of muscle and teeth, an animal that could end you in about 6 seconds. You know all of this, and some deeply unqualified part of your brain looks at its big round face and its heavy paws and thinks, in complete sincerity, I want to boop it. You are against every survival instinct you have, fighting the urge to reach out and pet the apex predator. And here's the thing, that is not a you problem. That is a human problem. Because we do this constantly. The cat on the lap, the horse behind the fence, the dog you ambush on the sidewalk. We see something soft and alive and our hands just go. So the real question isn't why the lion is dangerous. It's why a part of you wanted to touch it anyway. Start with your hand, because your hand knows something you don't. Watch it the next time it happens. It slows down. It flattens. It moves across fur at one very particular speed without being told, as if it already knows the pace. And it does. Buried in your skin is a special class of nerve fibers called C-tactile afferents, and they are tuned. Not to pressure, not to texture. To one thing, slow, gentle stroking at roughly 3 centimeters per second. Move faster or slower and they fall quiet. Hit that speed and they fire. Here's the strange part. These fibers barely tell you anything useful. They don't help you identify what you're touching. Instead, they run almost straight to the parts of the brain that handle emotion and social bonding. As far as we can tell, they exist for a single purpose: to make gentle touch feel like it means something. And fur, warm and soft and yielding, hits that system almost perfectly. When you stroke an animal, you aren't gathering information. You're tripping a circuit that evolved to bond you to other living things. But the pull starts before your hand even moves, before you're even close. In 1943, a scientist named Konrad Lorenz noticed that certain features, big eyes, a round face, a small nose, a high forehead, reliably trigger a wave of caregiving in adult humans. He argued these traits evolved in our own infants to hijack us, to make us protect them. He called it the baby schema, and here's the catch, the thing that explains the lion. Your brain does not run a species check. It sees the big eyes and the round face, and it fires the very same circuitry. Whether that face belongs to a human infant, a kitten, or a predator that could kill you. Brain scans back this up. Looking at something we find cute lights up the brain's reward centers. You aren't choosing to be charmed. You're being charmed, well beneath the level of choice, which is why it's so hard to stop. The impulse arrives before the decision does. And when the cuteness overloads the system, the brain does something even stranger. It fires a flash of near aggression, that urge to squeeze the kitten, to insist through gritted teeth that you could just eat it up. Researchers think it's a pressure valve, the mind throwing a counterweight to keep an overwhelming rush of tenderness from tipping over. So that's your half of it. You were built to reach. But there's a second half almost nobody asks about. Take the animal that actually lets you do it every day. Why does the cat allow it at all? Think about what you are from where the cat is sitting. A creature many times its size. A predator by history. Reaching a hand toward its soft, unprotected body. Everything in its evolution should read that as a threat. For a solitary hunter that trusts almost nothing, being touched should set off every alarm it has. And yet, cats groom the ones they trust. They rub their faces against them. They knead, they lean, they press. Physical contact is how a cat says, this one is mine, this one is safe. So when it pushes its head into your hand, it isn't simply tolerating you. It's running the same ancient program you are from the opposite direction, filing you, a huge, dangerous, unrelated animal, under the heading it saves for family. Two nervous systems built by completely different histories reaching for the same thing. We can't prove the animal feels what you feel. That much is honest. But we don't need to see what's happening. Touch is how mammals tell each other without a single word, you're safe, you're not alone. For almost the whole of our history, humans lived pressed against warm animals, sleeping beside them, working beside them, never more than an arm's length from something alive and breathing. The clean distance we keep now is brand new, and your nervous system never got the message. So the lion sits there impossibly dangerous. And some quiet, ancient part of you still wants to reach out. It was never really deciding. It was answering something that has been calling to it the entire time.